Every painting is a challenge. Whenever you start till the end is always a challenge. Every stroke you put is a new finding. A good watercolor, you need to have the transparency. You need to have the freshness of the color. You need to have the fluid, the control of the flow. And furthermore, composition. The focal point is the life of the painting. So that's what I term wood painting. So whether it's a watercolor or is it in any other medium. It was in 1960 and I met a group of artists in Singapore River. People like Lim Cheng Ho, Ong Chai Cho, Chiu Yu Seng, and the old veteran artists, including Chan Chong Sui, even Mr. Lim Yu Kwang, the principal of the Nanyang Academy of Fine Art. We often met at the Red House in Bras Basah Road, and we went to the Singapore River to paint. That's where I started to paint many of the Singapore River scenes. It gave me a lot of encouragement because I sold my first painting, I think for $120. After that, there was no stopping. When I was employed with a multilateral, or they call a multinational college, called the Colombo Plan Style College. So I met a delegate from Nepal, and he told me about his country. So I was very excited that, well, that's a place to go because, well, I need a change, maybe to go somewhere different, you know, something that a challenge I can take. So I was having this ambition of painting like in very high places. And what kind of inspiration can you get in that kind of place? You know? So that's how I got started to paint the Nepal series. End of '82, I submitted a painting to the American Watercolor Society. I won an award. And this award actually was a great boost to me because it's an international society. In fact, I was the first Asian, you know, at that time that is outside of America to become an AWS. So in this series on the Himalaya, including Nepal and Tibet, I emphasize on the 5 grainy of watercolor painting. First, you have the traditional watercolor painting, which is glazing method, where you apply on top and you paint from light to dark. Wet in wet, you paint on wet surface. Place the piece of wet paper on a perspex. Apply watercolor as what you apply on your glazing method. But this case, the finish is different because there is always that kind of fusion going on. The application of California style is just using one color by color. For me, it's thinking like in terms of positive, negative, a cool color and a warm color. And they are just intermixed with each other, you know. Hyperrealism is to paint the scene as exact as possible, as much detail as possible. And you can use maybe some very subtle colors, and especially rusty materials. How you mix the color of the rust. If you mix water with acrylic, you will get it very thin. So with this thing, I say, how about painting it on canvas using acrylic and mix it to an extent whereby it's similar to watercolor. So what I do is I try to buy those colors that you can to make them transparent. So I use quite a lot of browns and ochres and so on to give you the transparent effect. So I apply on canvas and I found out that, hey, it's a different finish. Because after it dries, it's very brilliant. It's very fresh, you know. That the effect is that you can see the surface of the canvas through the transparency. As a tribute to Nepal, to the people of Nepal, to the Sherpas in the Himalaya, I also use this as some kind of a memory of my trek in the Himalayan region. And for people to see a collection of the paintings that I have done over the years, the subject method that I have attempted over the years, they will be able to see different type of techniques that were being applied to paint the Nepal Himalaya and also Tibet. And also at the same time, I introduced the acrylic watercolor painting on canvas for my collectors to appreciate and to view and see whether there is a difference between the acrylic watercolor painting on canvas and the traditional watercolor painting on paper.